Hello, welcome to Insectix, Information Security Technologies training on penetration testing with Metasploit. In the past few videos, we have gone through the basic installation of NESSUS vulnerability scanner on the Kali Linux machine, as well as we have created a database user and we have connected a database connectivity in the Metasploit framework. And in this video, what we will do is we will import the report generated by the NESSUS against the target vulnerable machine, that is a Metasploitable 2. And by using that, we shall analyze the vulnerabilities and we shall exploit them. What are the against the target vulnerable machine, that is a Metasploitable 2. And by using that, we shall analyze the vulnerabilities and we shall exploit them. What are this? So let's do this. The first thing is that you need to generate the report in the NSC format. Just click on the report and go to the export and please click on a report, and there you need to select the file extension as NESSUS. Click on save file. Once again, let me save it. And now open up your Kali instance and there import db/import. It is on the root result.nessus. It has successfully imported the. Now let me type hosts. Let us have a clear view here. So this is the IP address, MAC address, name and the operating system. Now let us analyze the vulnerabilities by typing vulns. So this doesn't look decent, right? So now what we will do is we shall list out the vulnerabilities based on the ports. Let it be number 1 to port number 7000. So it will list out the vulnerabilities from port number 1 to port number 7000. So just go through this. Now what we will do is we shall search for a vulnerability. Okay, we shall search for a vulnerability which is been existed in this particular report. For the detailed report, please use the report generated in the PDF format. To do that, issue the search option, search and the ID. If it is OS open source vulnerable database means you need to supply OS VDB. Search OS VDB and the port number, the OS VDB ID, that is 65445. So this is the open source vulnerable database ID and this is the backdoor which has been existed. So this is the path for the exploit. Let me use this exploit. Just type use and paste the path and fill the options. Type show options, which will show the necessary options which is need to be filled. So we need to assign the R host, that is a remote host IP address. That R host and the IP address, that is 138. Exploit the machine. So finally we got command shell session which has been opened on this particular machine, right? Let me issue a command, who am I? So it is saying root. Let me check my ID level. UID 0, group ID is 0, that is I am the root. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.
Hello, welcome to InsectX, Information Security Technologies training on penetration testing with Metasploit. In the previous video, we have gone through the complete overview on Metasploit framework and its complete internals. In this series, we will be covering in detail about the meterpreter. Meterpreter. Meterpreter, often called as the default go-to payload for the Windows operating system. This can be leveraged as a payload after exploitation. Meterpreter can be considered as a post-exploitation tool. Best part of the meterpreter is it doesn't create a new process, and moreover, it completely resides in the memory. So there is no chance of getting detection, and it doesn't write any data to the disk. All the communication which is been carried out between the attacker and the victim machine, it will be completely encrypted. It creates a separate channel to encrypt the data whenever the data transmission is held between the attacker and the victim machine. This particular meterpreter contains bunch of options to ease our post exploitation. We can gain full control over the victim machine, and even it's possible to extend the DLLs during the runtime. That's all for this course introduction video on the meterpreter. In the next video, we will perform basic exploration over the victim machine, and we shall discuss in detail about the meterpreter. Thanks for watching. Hello, welcome to InsectX. Information Security Technology is training on penetration test. Hello, welcome to InsectX. Information Security Technology is training on penetration testing with Metasploit. In the last video, we have covered the basic introduction to the meterpreter, and in this video, we are basically going to cover how the meterpreter shell goes under the three different stages. Okay, there are few steps involved in connection establishment between attacker machine and the victim machine. This is the thing, the three stages. Coming to the first stage, during the stage 1, exploit and payload is sent to the victim machine. During this time, if both the exploit and payload gets executed, attacker machine establishes a reverse connection back to the framework machine where our Metasploit framework console is often on running. After this, during the stage 2, attacker machine will send a stage 2 payload which basically contains DLL injection, and this directly injects into the victim machine. The stage 2 payload will get executed and runs meterpreter DLL from the attacker machine directly into the memory of the victim machine. And finally in the last stage, okay, in this last stage, connection establishment is finally taken place between the attacker machine and the victim machine with a full-fledged session. Okay, and one of the best part of the meterpreter is it doesn't create any kind of a new process, and moreover it completely resides in the memory, so there is no chance of getting detection, and moreover it doesn't write any kind of data to the disk. Okay, it doesn't create any kind of files over the target victim machine, and whatever the communication which is held between the attacker machine and the victim machine will be completely encrypted. It creates a separate channel to encrypt the data. Whenever the data transmission is taking place between the attacker machine and the victim machine, it will be purely encrypted. So now what we will do is we shall take an example. I will be having my Kali Linux as the attacker machine running with the Metasploit framework console, and using that we shall try to exploit the remote vulnerability which is running on the Windows box, that is on the Windows XP machine. So let me choose the exploit, use exploit Windows SMB MS08 061 underscore net API, and we are going to encrypt the data. Whenever the data transmission is taking place between the attacker machine and the victim machine, it payload Windows meter printer reverse will be having my Kali Linux as the attacker machine running with the Metasploit framework console, and here we need to supply the options. Okay, so the options include the remote host, that is the victim's, that is on the Windows XP machine. 92.168.159.132